Welcome to our vibrant network of governance, risk, compliance, and cybersecurity leaders. We share cutting-edge insights, best practices, and innovative strategies to empower professionals in navigating the dynamic cyber threat landscape. Join Circolo de CISO to ignite resilience and data protection across industries.
Welcome back to the episode on being cyber street smart. In the previous episode, in case you have missed, we spoke about whether it is human error or psyche of the attacker or the victim. And Anurag was kind enough to enlighten actually what goes in the minds of the attacker and the victim and how the attacks are launched using social engineering techniques. And today, Anurag is here to walk us through how to reinvent the security training. How can we do this? Because we've been doing training ever since the threat landscape has been becoming very, very volatile. And today it is here to stay. So, Anurag, I'd like you to share with us from what you see, what you experience, talking to our peers in the corporate field and also the law enforcement. What should we be doing to reinvent the security training? Anurag?
Sure. Thanks, Sujit. So I think as we started this discussion series, we have established that no matter what times we see in the future, the human will always be the weakest link. Because at the end of the day, it's the human on the other side who is making the choice, who's taking decisions, who's taking actions. At least for now, we don't see a situation or an era where humans have widely delegated their decision making or action taking capacity to another entity, could be a machine or a bot or something like that. So in most of the things, or actually all of the scenarios we see today of scams that are happening in the citizen side or the corporate side, is a human clicking on a link, human falling for the trap or making that choice in the first place. So what is more important, as I said again, is how do we make sure that the human element in this is well aware and well trained. I think the times of us doing a classroom training with the one side monologue of what are the good do's and don'ts is gone, because I think we need to really make that aspect of training more impactful, more personalized, and more memorable. So what are some of the options here? Training has always been, at least on the firstly, it's always been limited to the corporates, not to the public at large. So that has to change. One, it has to go to the citizens, to the residents, resident welfare associations, to schools, to colleges. So that's one thing which also, as part of the chapter, as you know, we are also working with law enforcement agencies to kind of drive that campaign to a broader group. Then coming back to the training itself, it needs to be more beyond compliance. So training has always been a compliance activity. It was something that you would go through as part of the new hire orientation or once in a year or once in 6 months session. But now it has to be something that is part and parcel of their everyday life. One idea there is to kind of make it interesting, so that people enjoy and participate and engage in those trainings. So making it gamified is one way to kind of say you are engaged, involved, and participating in the entire journey of the let's say the script or the layout of the training as such. And I've seen organizations moving to that approach already. So they are making some of the big corporates are already following this model of having a gamified approach to cybersecurity in general. Once in a year or maybe twice in a year, they would launch this campaign across the organization and encourage employees to participate in that exercise, where the whole instead of a typical PowerPoint discussion, it's a simulated game that you play, just like a typical video game you play, either as an individual or as a group, participate as teams, get scores, get points, and then sharing those outcomes within the organization in terms of which department did well, which country did well, which teams did well, and kind of rewarding the ones that actually participated. It kind of makes that entire experience more engaging. And as part of it, the other piece would be storytelling techniques. So most of us, again, in general, we remember stories that we were told during childhood because at that time we were able to imagine those characters in our head. We had that hero in the story, we had a challenge that the hero had to solve, and then there was an outcome after it. Even with this gamified approach, what's coming into play is a storytelling technique. There is this person that is fictionalized and created, who is, let's say, going around the city trying to solve a problem, and during the course of it he's coming across various situations, uh, and the audience are encouraged to help that character make a choice. I mean, just saying, just like an example. And in that process, what is happening is a storytelling approach that is being adopted in the training exercise. Uh, One of the other things that can also be done is, training used to be just one in a year exercise or on a calendarized event. I think we need to make it more right there, right then, kind of an option. So, a couple of things is like, if I'm working on and visiting a website, I should be getting prompted that you need to double check what you're doing. If I'm sharing my phone number on an application, on a social app, I should get prompted that, are you sure you want to do it? Because here are the pros and cons of sharing your number with a stranger. When you are putting your password on somewhere, you should be the technology should be able to check if those are already out there in the dark web, compromised, things like that. So it should be right there, right then. And also the training itself, I would, I mean, and for all of these are not something which are very, I would say, theoretical ideas. There are products and companies that are already out there in the market who do it, and I think we should widely adopt it. One thing which I would really love to see happening as well and adopting is, having a simple app on your phone, let's say, and which can be your guide. So if you are in a situation where you're not sure if you're doing the right thing, use that app, tell them the situation that you are in, and help that app based, or again using AI at the back end, tell you whether you're making the right choice or not. It could be used in a corporate situation where the app or the the app is trained based on corporate policies. It could be on the citizen side also, where the app is trained and fed from all the data that is being feeded by all these law enforcement agencies and everything that they see around them. So having that constant engagement will help in driving what we call as changing the behavior. The behavior doesn't change with one single training. It has to be constant, usable, right there and right then. So I think we'll definitely want to make the training in a way that it is on the path of making those behavioral changes rather than a check in the box exercise.
Anurag, you brought in two important aspects. One is making this training more intuitive. That is where you're bringing the gamification. And then you also talked about storytelling. Where people will remember storytelling than telling them, don't do something. Because the brain typically can't recognize anything negative. That's a psychological aspect. Right? I'd also like to make aware to the audience, ISC2, Center for Cyber Safety and Education. It's an initiative by ISC2. They also have a program called Safe and Secure Online, where you can invite ISC2 credential holders to provide this training at no cost to your organization or to your community. So Anurag and his colleagues at the ISC2 Hyderabad chapter and other chapters in India and Sri Lanka are also equipped to do this training for you. So those of you who are listening to this video or this conversation, please reach out to me or to Anurag, and we'll be more than happy to come and do these sessions for you. Right? Because our objective is giving back to this society and make a society a safe society. That's our intention. So with that note, Anurag, I would like you to come back again for our last episode, where I would like you to talk about what more can we do to enhance the cybersecurity awareness and training, right? What aspects? What is that we can do? Small steps, what we are not doing today is something which I would like you to enlighten. So with that thought, thank you so much for staying tuned in, viewers, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you, Anurag.